Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
This podcast is an unscripted, unedited conversation about true crime. We take the cases very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously at all, and neither should you. Welcome to Wife of Crime.
So, Russ, there is a case out of Australia that has gone completely viral. A woman hosted a lunch at her home for her husband's family. Within a few hours, they'd all be hospitalized. And that week, 3 of them would die. The question is, did she poison them? Or was it just an innocent mistake? This is the case of Erin Patterson. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wife of Crime, a true crime podcast where I tell my husband, Russ, true crime stories and he reacts to them.
What's up, folks? It's your boy Russ, a.k.a. Hulkamaniacs,
Aw.
a.k.a. your brother, a.k.a. eat your vitamins and say your prayers,
Aw.
a.k.a. hitting you with the leg drop to stop the Cold War, a.k.a. slamming Andre the Giant, a.k.a. the champ, a.k.a. NWO, a.k.a. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan.
Oh, R.I.P. It's like a huge part of your childhood.
Hulk Hogan passing is my childhood. It's like my childhood is dying. And I was the biggest Hulkamaniac as a kid. I forgot whether it was Christmas or my birthday. It started me working out. I got a Hulk Hogan set with these little blue weights, a headband, and then it had...
A headband? Oh, you're so cute.
I had the wristbands.
Oh.
And then there's a poster on the wall that showed all the workouts you're supposed to do. And there was a cassette tape.
Wow.
That said, if you stop, he's going to climb through your window and body slam you. I forgot the exact thing, but R.I.P. Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah. You have a few Hulk Hogan memorabilia things or toys here, and you're such a big Hulk Hogan fan. You and Rosetta, my best friend Rosetta. Yeah. It's so funny that my husband and my best friend are huge Hulkamaniacs.
Well, because we're both old.
Yeah, you're both old, and she was really into wrestling when she was a kid.
Yeah, like we're both old. We both have mustaches like Hulk Hogan and stuff like that.
She's gonna kill you.
R.I.P. Ozzy.
Yeah.
You know,
Osbourne.
I wasn't as big of an Ozzy fan, but he cursed like me.
Mm-hmm.
I like a decent amount of his songs.
I know.
I'm not like a diehard, but I am a fan.
I know, it's crazy. In the same week.
I know. So, so deaths happen in 3.
Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yeah, it's crazy that death does come in 3s. It happens all the time in the hospital. It's a really weird phenomenon. So I decided I'm going to start. So Russ says really weird shit all the time. Okay, we all know that. If you listen to this podcast long enough, you know that.
The problem is I don't really never know what I'm going to say because I learned I don't have an internal monologue.
Yeah, so it just pops out.
So sometimes I say stuff and I really crack myself up.
He does. He actually laughs at himself a lot. Well, I've decided I'm going to start writing down dumb things and funny things that Russ says that are weird because he says stuff like that all the time, and just say them on the podcast out of context. So this week I have 2 written down. So Russ said, I get it, but I'm as dumb as I can get. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
But he was like, I get it, but I'm as dumb as I can get.
I was talking about getting dumber, and I was like, that's as dumb as I could get.
And then the other one, last night when we were at the Nas concert, he said, I vask with a V, V-A-S-K. I vask in my I bask in my ignorance instead of bask.
See? It worked for that, too. I was having a good time.
Instead of bask.
I don't know the
I bask, which is not even a word, but it cracked me up so much. So I'm just going to keep a running list of dumb shit that you say.
Long as you know what I mean, I don't really care if I say it wrong.
Yeah.
I thought it was Vask. And see? And the person that, I'll never forget this one, the person that thought I was an idiot for not knowing Spanish people colonized or invaded the Philippines, thought I was dumb. Like, stay tuned.
It's so funny. So one thing I definitely want to talk about before we get into the story this week is Brian Kohberger.
Fuck that dude.
Who is the guy who killed the 4 college students in Idaho in their home while they were sleeping. He took a plea deal. And he had a sentencing, and the victim impact statements were read. So all these people got up who were related to the victims, and they read their victim impact statement. And one of the victim's sister got up, and she gave him the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Because what she said to him, I literally, when I was listening, I got chills. And I was just like, let's go. Like, she was so good.
I'm not here today to speak in grief. I'm here to speak in truth. Because the truth is, my sister Kaylee and her best friend Maddie were not yours to take. They were not yours to study, to stalk, or to silence. They were 2 pieces of a whole, the perfect yin and yang. They are everything that you could never be. Loved, accepted, vibrant, accomplished, brave, and powerful. Because the truth about Kaylee and Maddie is they would have been kind to you. If you had approached them in their everyday lives, they would have given you directions, thanked you for the compliment, or awkwardly giggled to make your own words less uncomfortable for you. In a world that rejected you, they would have shown mercy. Because the truth is, I'm angry. Every day I'm angry. I'm left shouting at the inside of my own head everything I wish I could say to you. I won't stand here and give you what you want. I won't offer you tears. I won't offer you trembling. Disappointments like you thrive on pain, on fear, and on the illusion of power. And I won't feed your beast. What's it like needing this much attention just to feel real? You're terrified of being ordinary, aren't you? Do you feel anything at all? You didn't win. You just exposed yourself as the coward you are. You're a delusional, pathetic, hypochondriac loser who thought you were so much smarter than everybody else. Constantly scolding, turning your nose up to grammar mistakes, nitpicking and criticizing others. You wanted so badly to be different, to be special, to be better, to be deep, to be mysterious. You found yourself thinking you were better than everyone else, and you thought you could figure out the human psyche and see through it, all while tweaked out on heroin. Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful because no one ever paid you any attention in the light. You're a textbook case of insecurity disguised as control. Your patterns are predictable. Your motives are shallow. You are not profound. You're pathetic. You aren't special or deep, not mysterious or exceptional. Don't ever get it twisted again. No one is scared of you today. No one is intimidated by you. No one is impressed by you. No one thinks that you are important. You orchestrated this like you thought you were God. Now look at you, begging a courtroom for scraps. You spent months preparing, and still all it took was my sister in a sheath. You worked so hard to seem dangerous, but real control doesn't have to prove itself. The truth is, the scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth? Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damn. That is like, ugh.
I love that.
It got me hype.
You dumb, stupid, slow, sloppy, weak bitch. My sister would have fucked you up.
Yes.
I love that.
I know. When I was listening, I got so hype the first time I heard it.
I got a little bit of chills right now.
I know. I mean, honestly, what she said is so true. Like, he wanted to be this scary killer. Like, he was a true crime fanatic.
He thought he was going to get to keep going and doing this, I think. But then they found him.
Yeah.
After his first, what I think, what from what we know is his first crime.
And the fact that she said how painfully average you are. Like, it was just so good. She did such an amazing job of just letting it rip.
She gave him the benefit of the doubt by even calling him average, the fucking turd.
Yeah. When I saw that this week, I was like, let's go.
I did not expect her to be like, my sister would have fucked you up.
Yeah, I know.
Like, she would have gave you the smoke, you weak ass bitch.
I know.
And I was hyped.
You know, it's so sad what he did. And I feel so bad for the victims' families. And I'm just glad that she was able to say her piece.
Yep, like you only got her because she was sleeping.
Yeah, it was crazy. So this month on the Patreon, we are going to be watching and reviewing the Amy Bradley documentary that just came out on Netflix. We covered Amy Lynn Bradley's case all the way back in 2019, 6 years ago. So, by the way, July 22nd was Wife of Crime's 6th birthday.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know.
You know how many words I said?
True. You know how many words I said?
I think I've spoke on this podcast collectively, like total of all my words, probably more than I spoke in my entire life.
Collectively, total of all your words ever spoken in your life.
It's very intense.
Yeah.
Like, I think I spoke more on this podcast
than you ever have. It's true. Well, we're covering Amy Lynn Bradley's case again because they made this Netflix documentary about it. And I'm really interested to see if there's new information that came out since we did the episode way back in the day. So that'll be coming out this month, July's True Crime and Chill. And Russ has the patron shout out.
All right, folks. You know the routine. You guys went over there for some extra content and some like cups and stuff. And these are the people that joined this week. Allie, Katie, Wendy, Selena, Dr. Mold, Karen, Lisa, Tammy, Amber, Leanne, Kelsey, Maggie, Jenna, Kira, Casey, Peter, and Melissa. Shout out to you guys. I'm going to crack this beer right here and take a little sippy sip for you.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to hear all of our True Crime and Chill episodes and ad-free episodes, head over there.
Also, I do review of the week. And you got to go to Apple because nobody's really up on reviews besides Apple.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is from Claire Bear 2010. So she's obviously 15 years old.
Okay.
And the title is I Disobeyed My Mom.
Oh.
Okay, so about 2 years ago, I came across the Not Me, Not Today episodes and listened to all of them in the same day.
Wow.
And my mom saw this and was like, you're too young for these horrible details, blah, blah, blah. And I've been sneaking you guys and risking having my phone taken forever for Jess's awesome storytelling and Russ's stupid comments. So, put some respect on my name, as Russ would say. Love you guys. Hashtag vote for us. Hashtag Jess is the best. So shout out to you, Claire Bear.
Oh, she's been risking getting punished.
Risking your phone.
To listen to us.
Wow, that's big for a 15-year-old. The phone is like their lifeline, but I appreciate you, Claire.
Yeah. Okay, so I am super excited about this week's case. This is for all of my Australian peeps. They've been begging me to do it. I scoured the internet, and I've put this all together for you guys, and I'm so excited to talk about it. When I went down this rabbit hole, I got just as fascinated with this case as everybody else. Because this case, it's like, for some reason, it just sucks you in. And I find it so fascinating.
We have way more Australia listeners than I thought we would have.
Yeah.
When we started the podcast, we had no clue whether we were going to do it twice or again. And like Australia is like one of our bigger places.
Yeah. I think it's because they like our sense of humor, because Australians have a really great sense of humor. And a lot of them have a similar sense of humor to you.
I feel like I'd fit in better in Australia than here. If I was going to move somewhere else, I think it would be Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go.
Yeah, I bet you will. When we think of murder, we usually picture something loud. A gunshot, a struggle, a crime of passion. But statistically, when women kill, things tend to happen a bit more quietly. Historically, one of the most common weapons used by female murderers isn't a knife or a gun. It's poison.
Or their mouth.
Shut up.
They nag you to death.
Poison is clean, subtle, and often takes time to work, which is exactly the point. According to FBI data, women make up about 10% of all murderers in the United States. But among those cases, poison shows up disproportionately, especially in home settings. Psychologists believe it's about control, emotional distance, and the ability to maintain the appearance of innocence while quietly orchestrating someone's death. Poison doesn't leave a mess. It doesn't require brute strength. It allows the killer to sit across from their victim, smile politely, and watch them slowly die. It's sinister and insidious. And that's exactly what makes the mushroom murders so wildly disturbing. This is the notorious case of Erin Patterson and the Australian mushroom murders. Are you ready?
Yep.
Before I even start the case, I'm going to show you an interview with Erin Patterson. This is an interview conducted outside of her house. A news crew actually sat out there waiting to speak with her shortly after 4 members of her estranged husband's family fell extremely ill following a lunch she hosted for them at her house. 3 of them have died.
Damn, her food is to die for.
And 1 is in a coma on the day this interview is recorded. Since you're going into the story completely blind, I want you to watch this video and give me your best profiler analysis of her, okay?
It's a tragedy what's happened.
Can you tell us about the meal that you cooked?
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don. Don is still in hospital. The loss of Ian and Heather and Gail, who were some of the best people that I'd ever met. Gail was like...
Take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago. And Gail's never been anything but good and kind to me. And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so devastated about what's happened.
Can you tell us
and the loss to the community and to the families and to my own children who've lost their grandmother.
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened. That Ian and Heather have lost their lives, and Gail has lost her life, and Donna's still in hospital, and I pray that he pulls through because my children love him.
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you
I
kids?
just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from? Would I teach them the property area?
I just ask you, leave me alone now, please.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about
Yes,
that?
I say I didn't do anything. I love them. And I'm devastated that they're gone. And I hope that with every fibre of my being that Don pulls through. That's
Where
what I
did the
have to
mushrooms
say.
come from? Were they picked by you, or where did they come from, Erin? Can you tell us? What meal did you cook them? Did you eat the same meal, Erin?
Okay, so first impressions of Erin Patterson, Right, Set, Go.
All right, I'm going to let you finish.
Mm-hmm.
But Erin Patterson has the best double chin of all time. I've never seen a better one.
Okay.
She reminds me of Thanksgiving dinner because she got a gobbler.
Okay. All right, now talk about how she, like, your first impressions of how she was acting, not just her looks.
So she was crying, but there weren't any tears.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any tears.
It was like a bad actor trying to fight your way through a scene you're getting paid for.
It kind of reminds me, this interview kind of reminds me of when you're a kid and you get in trouble for something and you're trying to look like you're really remorseful, but you're not really. And you're like just trying, you just kind of are pissed that you got caught. So you're trying to get out of it a little bit. So you're like, oh, you know, I don't know. It just kind of gives me that type of energy.
Well, we all know the annoying kid Jess was at this point, but I wasn't that dramatic.
Well, I was a bit
my
dramatic.
tears would be real because the struggle was real.
Well, I was definitely a dramatic kid. And I don't know. That's just what this reminds me of, is like a kid who is pissed that they got caught and trying to look sad and remorseful.
And then when they asked her where'd the mushrooms come from, I was going to say she ran to her car, but she probably would have caught an asthma attack. So she walked around to the other side of her car.
She briskly walked.
Yeah, she went at her full speed, tore an ACL, and got in her car.
Yeah, and she drove off, right? As soon as they asked about the mushrooms, she drove off. Erin Patterson is nothing special. She's actually quite boring, ordinary. A middle-aged woman you'd see in the supermarket and not glance at twice. Erin may seem like your average middle-aged mom, but there is much more boiling under the surface. On July 29th, 2023, in a small town called Leongatha in Victoria, about 80 miles southeast of Melbourne, 4 people came to the home of Erin Patterson for a very important lunch. Erin invited her ex-husband, Simon, his parents, Gail and Don, Gail's sister, Heather, and her husband, Ian. Erin had told them this was a very important lunch because she needed to tell them some news about her health that was pretty catastrophic. Up until the guests arrived, Erin hadn't told anyone about the actual diagnosis, just that she had been having some health issues, but she kept it vague. But, you know, they all assumed the worst, because just a month before, she told her in-laws, Don and Gail, that she found a lump on her elbow. She had gotten a biopsy and an MRI and was waiting for results.
Oh, shit. There could be cancer on an elbow?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought it could only be like on organs and...
No. You can have cancer in the bone. You can have all kinds of...
On your elbow.
You can show up in a lot of places.
Crikey.
The night before the lunch, Erin's ex, Simon, sent her this text. Quote, "Sorry, I feel too uncomfortable about coming to the lunch with you, Mom, Dad, Heather, and Ian tomorrow. But I'm happy to talk about your health and implications of that at another time, if you'd like to discuss it on the phone." Erin was not happy with this. She replied, quote, "It's really disappointing. I've spent many hours this week preparing lunch for tomorrow, which has been exhausting in light of the issues I'm having, and spent a small fortune on beef eye fillet to make beef Wellingtons because I wanted it to be a special meal, as I may not be able to host a lunch like this again for some time. It's important to me that you're there tomorrow and that I have the conversations I need to have. I hope you'll change your mind. Your parents and Heather and Ian are coming at 12:30. I hope to see you there." The next day, Erin's 4 lunch guests arrive. Simon wasn't persuaded. He did not come to the lunch. She gave them all 4 individual beef Wellingtons with mash and green beans. And I must say, I've had beef Wellington once, and it was our 10-year wedding anniversary dinner in Vegas. And it seems like it's really difficult to make.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan.
I liked it.
It's kind of just like a steak wrapped in bread. Take your Wonder Bread off my steak. Even though it was the special that day, so I was like, I'll just take the special. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
I know what beef. Well, he said it was a steak, but then he basically gave me a steak sandwich.
Well, I think because we went to an incredibly fancy place, and I'm assuming that he thought we knew what beef Wellington was. And since you and I didn't know what it was exactly.
I think you knew.
I mean, I knew what beef Wellington was, kind of, but I'd never had it before.
Yeah, I
knew the concept of it.
I like my steak charcoal, on the outside. I am a chicken tender connoisseur.
Yeah.
So, if they would have gave me some chicken tendies, it might have worked out a little better.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a really difficult dish to make, honestly.
$300 later.
Oh, that dinner was more than $300.
Oh, it was?
But we don't have to talk about it.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, that was a crazy night. So she made 5 separate mini beef Wellingtons. One for her and one for all 4 of her guests. And if you don't know what beef Wellington is beef tenderloin that is encased in a finely chopped mushroom mixture and a puff pastry, aka it's kind of fancy AF, okay? Too fancy for me. So to make 5 of them is quite time-consuming and expensive.
She's not as lazy as she looks.
No, I don't think that she was lazy, especially with this meal. After everyone arrived at Erin's house the next day, Erin plated the lunch for each person. Gail, Don, Ian, and Heather had gray matching plates, and Erin took the small, ugly brown one. As her guests ate their individual beef wellies, mash, and green beans, Erin told them all that she had just been diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and she was about to undergo radiation and chemotherapy. And obviously, everyone was sympathetic and sad for her. She asked the group for their help with how to tell her children. Heather's husband, Ian, is the pastor of the local church, so he led all 5 of them in prayer for Erin. And over dessert, which was an orange cake that Heather brought with her, the 5 of them encouraged Erin that she is supported and that they love her.
Wow.
They discussed different ways to break the news to the children and told her she is not alone. They are there to help her with whatever she needs. Before leaving her home, they all hugged her goodbye and reiterated their support for her. The 4 of them left and the two couples went their separate ways. By midnight that night, all 4 of the lunch guests were incredibly sick.
She didn't think that all of them being sick would, like, show that she did something?
No, she didn't. So wait until you...
Well, she ain't that smart, huh?
This case is so crazy, and you will see that Erin has an answer for everything.
Because, like, if one person got sick, like, all right. But if all 4 and the only thing they really have in common is that they went to your house and ate?
Yeah. Yeah, this case gets crazy. So all 4 of them were incredibly sick. It was like they all had food poisoning. The 4 of them all had the same symptoms: intense diarrhea and vomiting. And you and I have had food poisoning at the same time, and it sucks.
Yeah,
especially when you have one bathroom.
It comes out of both ends at the same time.
And when you have one bathroom, it's pretty terrible.
I wasn't, there was no embarrassment. I was going through too much stuff to worry about how you felt about
We weren't even married yet. By 8:45 the next morning, Don called his son Simon. He told him, "Me and your mom are very sick. We had a horrible night, and we have to call an ambulance." Don told Simon, "Your Aunt Heather and Uncle Ian are very sick too." So Simon drove to his aunt and uncle's house to check on them. Simon was overwhelmed with how sick they looked. Knowing his parents were on the way to the ER in the ambulance, Simon decided to pack up Ian and Heather and take them to Leongatha Hospital. On the way to the hospital, Simon's Aunt Heather asked a really random question. She said, "Why did Erin eat her lunch on a brown plate? It was a different color than ours." Simon, just thinking that his aunt was dehydrated and out of it, said, "I don't know, maybe the plates came in a set of 4.
What a good observation.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone would notice that.
Exactly. And Simon didn't think much of this question. But as we will soon find out, this question will become the crux of this case. After arriving in the ER at Leongatha Hospital, at first the staff assumed this was a case of food poisoning, possibly from bad beef. All 4 of these people were violently ill after all consuming the same lunch. So if you come into the ER with food poisoning, we give you IV fluids and Zofran. And Zofran is an anti-nausea medication. We also check your blood work and monitor your vital signs. So that's what they did. But by later in the day, as the 4 of them started to decline instead of getting better, it was clear to the nurses and doctors this is much more than just food poisoning. Their liver enzymes were elevated, indicating liver damage was happening in real time. This is a WTF moment for the team, okay? I'm sure they were trying to talk through a differential, like an episode of House. But thank God they had a guy who I absolutely love, who I will say kind of acts like House sometimes. But you can tell he really does care about his patients.
House is like the Deadpool of doctors.
Yeah,
if you've never watched House.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, all right, we get you have sarcasm.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It is good in general.
It's a good show, but the script gets a little annoying sometimes. Well, this guy, he's a no-nonsense doctor, and his name is Dr. Chris Webster, and he's going to be a huge key player in this whirlwind of a case.
I wonder, in ERs in Australia, if, like, when they ever walk in the room and they see, like, a case that's kind of crazy, if they're ever like, crikey.
I don't know.
They got to, because that's like, holy shit.
God. I don't even know if anyone actually says crikey.
Well, we'll ask our Australian listener. They'll let us know.
Yeah, they'll let us know, I'm sure.
How often you say crikey?
So Dr. Chris Webster started asking questions. What did you all eat? Beef Wellingtons, they said. Okay, he thought. What is in a beef Wellington? Let's see. Beef, mushrooms, prosciutto, and a puff pastry. What could make them deteriorate so rapidly like this? Dr. Webster knew it had to be mushrooms.
That's crazy that he thought that, because anyone would think, like, it's not the mushrooms because we buy them from the store.
Well.
But obviously, these ones came from the outback.
Well, these mushrooms are death cap mushrooms, to be exact. According to the AI overview on Google, death cap mushroom poisoning can be deadly and is characterized by delayed onset of symptoms. Initial symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea can appear between 6 to 24 hours after ingestion. These gastrointestinal symptoms may improve temporarily, giving a false sense of recovery. However, the amatoxins in the mushroom continue to damage the liver and kidneys, leading to liver and kidney failure, potentially followed by coma and death.
Fucking amatoxins, man.
Dr. Webster knew this was it. Immediately, he asked who cooked the beef Wellingtons. They told him it was Erin Patterson. Meanwhile, Simon is calling Erin to ask her how she's feeling. He doesn't know that the death cap mushrooms were the likely culprit yet. So he just asked Erin, are you doing all right? Because everybody's sick. I'm at the hospital with all 4 of them. They're very sick, and I just wanted to see how you're feeling. But he didn't mention the mushroom theory to her because he didn't know about it yet. Erin said to Simon, "Oh yeah, my stomach has been kind of a mess for a few hours. I'm actually coming there as well. I think I need to get an IV and get some fluids." So when Erin arrives at the hospital and she's sitting in the waiting room, and Dr. Chris Webster is notified that she checks in.
He was like, this Sheila is lying.
He rushes out and walks up to talk to her. He told Erin that he'd been anxious to speak with her, and according to Dr. Webster at the trial, when he told her that, she looked visibly shocked. She said, No, see, I'm just a gastro case. It's no big deal. But Dr. Webster, confused by this, said, "You're feeling okay? You just have some mild diarrhea? That's so strange." Then he asked her, "Where did you get the mushrooms for the beef Wellingtons you made?" He told her, "I think everyone at your lunch was infected with death cap mushroom poisoning. This is incredibly time sensitive, so I have to know everything. Where did you get them? How much did everyone eat? I need to know. You may have been exposed to this as well. This is urgent." Erin said, honestly, it was a mix of mushrooms I bought from Woolworths, and some I bought a while back from this Asian market, but I don't remember the name of the place. She said I bought it a while ago for another recipe, but they smelled too strong, so I just saved them in a container in my pantry and used them for this recipe instead. After Dr. Webster started grilling her and warning her that she could soon get incredibly ill, she got very uncomfortable.
She better start forcing throwing up and pooping on herself so she don't look like she did it.
Well, she didn't do that. You know what she did instead? Instead, she left the emergency room and signed out AMA, which means against medical advice.
Wow.
So on CCTV footage in the ER, you can see the nurses trying to convince Erin not to leave. But she refuses to listen. She tells the nurses she needs to go home and run a few errands and pack her daughter's ballet bag. This is crazy. Imagine, okay, so you have to think we're in real time right now. You have a group of medical professionals who've now just realized that there are 4 people dying from death cap mushroom poisoning. And you have the person who cooked the meal in front of you. And you're telling that person, because they're not suspecting her yet. Now, Dr. Webster is, but the other ones aren't suspecting her of doing this intentionally. They're just like, oh my God, you were exposed to this. You got to stay. And she's like, I got to go. I got to go pack my daughter's ballet bag.
She is making herself a suspect. They weren't even thinking this at first.
No. So the nurses completely baffled, explained to her, like, lady, you're exposed to a deadly toxin. You need blood work. We need to get meds on board to protect your liver. You will die from this. She still insists on leaving. So they say, okay, go do your shit, and you got to come back here within 40 minutes. So she walks out, gets in her car, and drives away. The nurses tell Dr. Webster she left. He immediately calls 000, aka 911. Okay, their version of 911.
I guess it's a little easier to dial.
True.
Hello, what address do you need the police?
This is Dr. Chris Webster calling from Leongatha Hospital, and I have a concern regarding a patient that presented here earlier but has left the building and is potentially exposed to a fatal toxin from mushroom poisoning, and I've tried several times to get hold of her on her mobile phone.
So, before I get all that information in, what address do you need the police to attend, Dr. Chris?
Yeah, should I give the hospital address or the address of the patient?
If you know where they are, their address.
I have the address of the patient.
Yeah, go ahead with that.
Okay, 84 Gibson, Gibson Street.
Is that in Leongatha?
Leongatha 3953.
Thank you. Yeah. So 84 Gibson Street, Leongatha, Victoria. The nearest intersection is Worthy Street, is that correct?
I'd have to get Google Maps up, but yes, I would say that sounds right. That sounds like a street in Leongatha. Yeah.
What's her name?
So the last name is Patterson, Patterson.
First name?
Erin, Erin.
Do you have a date of birth?
30th of September, 1974.
When did she present at hospital?
At 8:05
today.
Yeah.
Mushroom poisoning, you said.
Yeah, so there were 5 people that ate a meal on Saturday, and 2 of them are in intensive care at Dandenong Hospital. 2 have just been transferred from Leongatha Hospital to Dandenong Hospital, and Erin presented this morning with symptoms of poisoning.
Bear with me. And what happened when she presented? She just got up and left?
No, there was time for the nurse to begin observations, and I was managing the other critically unwell patient, so I had a brief chat to her about where the mushrooms were obtained, and after that, while I was attending the other patients, the nurse informed me that she had discharged herself against medical advice. So I don't know exactly. Oh, we've got a form here. Hang on, just tell me what time she left. No, it doesn't have a time. She left at 10 past. She was only here for 5 minutes.
Okay. Would you like them to contact you with an outcome?
Yes, I'd be happy for them to contact me at any time on the mobile number. Okay, thank you very much for your help.
Thanks, all the best.
Okay, see ya. Bye.
So in the phone call, you can kind of tell that at this point, they're just trying to get her to get back here and get evaluated. They're not necessarily assuming that she has any idea or she intentionally cooked this.
I really like how this doctor was very proactive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been to doctors, and I've been with a lot of passive doctors. They're like, all right, well, she's leaving. All right, that's on her.
Yeah, well,
but like,
this is life and death, though. Dr. Webster, I love him the whole time. And we're going to talk a lot more about him later. So after learning that she may have been exposed to a deadly mushroom that her family is currently dying from, she doesn't go back to the hospital. She doesn't call Chris Webster back, and she wouldn't return to the hospital for over 2 hours. When she came back, she told the team, I went home to do my stuff and I fell asleep. And guess what? The nap cured me. I feel fine now.
She came back eating French fries out of like a McDonald's thing. Like, what's up, guys? I'm all right.
No upset stomach, no diarrhea. I'm all good. She also tells the staff that she actually gave her children the leftover beef Wellington before she came to the hospital in the first place, and neither one of them have any gastro
Oh my
symptoms.
God.
She was told by the doctors, okay, you got to get your kids to the hospital now to at least get evaluated. And she was like, really? Do I though? Because, see, my kids, they don't like mushrooms. So they ate the meal minus the mushroom paste because I scraped it off. And they only ate the meat. She said, I don't want to bring them here and scare them. And Dr. Chris Webster, he's like had enough, right? He's like so over this lady at this point. And he says, do you want scared kids or do you want dead kids?
Let's go, Webster.
Erin reluctantly brings her kids in later that afternoon. And all the tests come back totally normal on the three of them.
She's just making herself look more and more guilty while she's trying to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing a terrible job.
So Chris Webster calls a woman named Dr. Rhonda Stewart. She is the director of infection prevention and epidemiology. And he tells her what's happening. And Dr. Stewart is horrified. She reacts just like every other normal person in this case. There are deadly mushrooms being sold at a market somewhere? This could infect a whole population of people.
Yep, she made it worse.
This could be a public health crisis. So she proceeds to call Erin and leave multiple voicemails. Finally, after a couple of days, Erin gets back to Dr. Stewart and tells her the same thing. Yeah, I got these dried mushrooms from an Asian market months ago. I have no idea which one. They sat in my pantry, and I think I must have paid for them with cash because I have no receipts or bank statements that show me buying anything from an Asian place in the last 6 months.
You know what I've never seen?
What?
An Asian person with an Australian accent.
Oh, interesting.
That would blow my fucking mind. I don't know why.
It's funny. So Erin says, all I can tell you is that it came in a plastic bag and it had a handwritten label and it weighed 100 grams. So she can remember the details of the bag it came in, the label was handwritten, how much it weighed, but she can't tell you anything else, like which market she got it from.
The only thing we weigh in grams in America is cocaine. Everything else is in ounces.
Dr. Stewart said, have you ever gone foraging for mushrooms? Did you collect any wild ones and add it to this recipe? And Erin says, oh, heavens, no, I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know what to pick. So after this conversation, Dr. Rhonda Stewart is panicking. She has to find the market that sold these mushrooms. This is literally a matter of life and death. This is her job. You know, she is the director of infection prevention and epidemiology. This is her job to figure this out because she can't allow a public health crisis like this to happen if they're selling death cap mushrooms in an Asian market. So she asked Erin, can you please narrow it down to a few markets you've been to in the past? My team can go there and we can just try to figure out where these mushrooms came from. And Erin's like, sorry, I got nothing. So the team goes out anyway to all the Asian markets in the area in search for dried mushrooms in a plastic bag with a handwritten label. They start sending pictures of all the markets to Erin, asking, is this one it? Is this one it? No, nope. She would answer to all of them. And that's when she wasn't just leaving them on red, because half of the messages she didn't even respond to. Meanwhile, doctors gave Don a liver transplant.
That fast?
Yeah, but it didn't work.
Wow.
Gail and Heather were too far gone to receive a transplant. And Ian was in a medically induced coma awaiting a liver transplant. One night, while Simon was bouncing between rooms of his parents and his aunt and uncle, can you imagine? Poor Simon, honestly. He's bouncing between these rooms. His parents are on their deathbed and his aunt and uncle are on their deathbed, all in the same ICU.
Wow.
It's really sad. So while sitting at his Aunt Heather's side, in her weakened state, she asked him again, Simon, Why did Erin eat her beef Wellington on a different color plate? Again, Simon told her, I don't know, maybe it was just a set of 4 plates, and she wanted you all to have the nice one, so she took the ugly one. It's interesting to me that this lady is so incredibly sick, literally on death's door.
And smart.
And she has asked now twice about this. It's like she knew the truth inside of her, but didn't want to necessarily speak it out loud. So she was asking this question because it was nagging her. Like, you know how when you have something that you know is the truth and it nags you, but you don't necessarily want to full on believe it?
Yep.
I think that's where she was at. Despite everything the doctors tried to do, on August 4th, 2023, Gail and Heather both died. And the following day, August 5th, Don would die as well. Ian Wilkinson was still alive, in a coma, and he would remain in that coma for 7 weeks. When Ian woke up from the coma 7 weeks later, he was given the agonizing news that not only were his sister and brother-in-law dead, but also his wife, Heather, of 50 years, was dead as well. 50 years they were married.
That's crazy.
Ian is also told that he received a liver transplant. He has to endure intense rehabilitation to learn to walk again. It is a very long road for Ian, and he is doing this without his wife by his side.
Wow.
So devastating.
I would have been doing that with the music playing in my head, Eye of the Tiger, because I'm going to get out and I'm going to get her. That would have been my motivation. Like, I'm going to get out. And I would have been the whole time, I would have been telling everybody, it wasn't her. No way.
Ian doesn't know that she did it at this point. He just thinks they all got sick. For Simon, he has just lost his parents and his aunt. Erin and Simon's children have lost their grandparents. Like, this is affecting so many people. And this is where we began our story. We are back to the beginning with that now infamous TV interview of Erin Patterson outside of her house. The interview happened right after the 3 of them died and Ian is in a coma. Erin and Simon met in the early 2000s and were married in 2007. After getting married, Erin moved with Simon to Leongatha and got incredibly close with Simon's family. Not a lot is known about Erin's family, just that her and her parents don't have a very close relationship. Erin became integrated into the Patterson family, and she often spoke with her mother-in-law, Gail, and hung out with her on their own. Erin and Don, her father-in-law, also had a great relationship, and they had a lot in common. When Erin's mother died, she ended up leaving a very large inheritance of $2 million to Erin. So homegirl got a big inheritance and had a lot of money. After a while into the marriage, things got rocky between Simon and Erin, and they ended up separating numerous times. But according to Simon, it was always Erin leaving him and not the other way around. Despite all the back and forth, though, Erin remained close with Gail and Don, and they were really close and really good grandparents to her children. Even though Simon and Erin had issues, she was still a fixture in their family. Her and Simon actually did a pretty good job at co-parenting, and Erin still spent holidays with Simon and his family all the time. But things got a little sour in 2022. Erin inherited more money from her side of the family. Her grandmother died, so she got a big inheritance from that. And that year, Simon listed that the couple was separated on his taxes. And this had huge implications for Erin's wealth. I don't know or understand the tax code over there, So
or over here, like taxes.
Well, true. Over here, I don't either.
This one's crazy. I don't know how it is in Australia. It just got to be a flat number or something. Like, who could figure this shit out?
Yeah, the taxes are so confusing.
And everyone leaves money on the table or pays too much or too little. Like, it's a racket.
Well, I can't tell you exactly why it negatively affected her so much, but it ended up costing Erin a lot, and she was pissed. And Simon said, look, it was just a mistake with me and my accountant. I can fix it. He said it was an honest mistake. He didn't realize it would have like these tax implications for her. But she's like, nah, bro, I'm done. Now we are separating, and I'm going after you for child support. Well, this actually royally fucked her.
I was just thinking that because wouldn't she, in America, she'd have to pay alimony.
Yeah, so it's income-based, and he has way less money than her, so the child support payments ended up being really low. So things are getting really tense at this point. And then Gail's 70th birthday party comes around in October of 2022, and Erin isn't invited. She feels pushed out, alienated, and angry. But from Simon's perspective, he's like, this is my mom's birthday, and you and I aren't good right now. So no, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not inviting you. It would be weird if you were here.
Yeah, get out of here.
And this is how the relationship would remain until the lunch in July of 2023. During this tough time in her relationship with Simon, Erin became very close to a Facebook group of online sleuths. Because, see, Erin was a true crime fanatic.
You got to watch out for the true crime fanatics because they know how to kill you. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when these killers are really into true crime. So she loved true crime and loved online sleuthing. Like me and most of our listeners, she watched true crime documentaries, listened to true crime podcasts, and would join true crime forums. One particular forum was a Facebook group that was dedicated to the case of Kelly Lane, an Australian mother who was found guilty of killing her 2-day-old daughter. Erin was highly regarded in this group, and members called her a super sleuth because she could research the shit out of anything. Erin had been communicating with Gail and Don after the birthday party because her children still went to see their grandparents. And on a couple of occasions, Erin asked her in-laws to speak to Simon for her and kind of get involved a little bit to try to convince Simon to do better. But Gail and Don remained neutral, and they refused to get involved in, the relationship between Simon and Erin. And I totally understand that. In the weeks after the 3 deaths, Dr. Chris Webster and Dr. Rhonda Stewart and her team were feeling like this case was increasingly more and more odd. How in God's name have no other people been infected in the area if these deadly mushrooms were being sold in an Asian supermarket for public consumption? How was Erin and her children totally fine if they ate the same meal? Things didn't add up. So Dr. Webster told police he didn't like Erin from the moment he first spoke to her.
Wait, the doctor said he didn't like her?
Yeah. He told police he didn't like her from the moment he spoke to her in the waiting room. He told cops he just knew deep down that this woman poisoned her whole family. He knew it. So police started watching her. They took out the leftover beef Wellingtons from her trash can and had them tested.
Perfect.
The tests came back positive for death cap mushroom toxins, not only in the mushroom paste, but also in the meat. The meat that she claimed she ate and fed to her children. While the beef Wellingtons cooked, the toxins spread through the whole dish and into the pastry and the meat.
So the temperature doesn't kill it.
No, it made it spread.
Wow.
And if she was telling the truth about feeding it to her kids would have gotten sick too. So that was obviously a lie. So the homicide team gets involved because this is now a suspicious death case. On August 15th, police conduct a search of Erin's house. They take dried mushrooms that were still in the home. They take all her electronics, notes, journals, kitchen appliances, and they send them all off to be analyzed. On an iPad recovered from her home, there were multiple pictures of mushrooms and scales holding mushrooms, weighing them. They also see a photo of a dehydrator with mushrooms on it, and the picture is taken in her kitchen. But the dehydrator was not there. The scales in the picture were tested, and death cap mushroom toxins were found on the scales. They found a manual for the dehydrator, but not the actual machine. And when they asked Erin about this, she said she likes to collect manuals.
All right, so that would be so easy to fix. But can I see your manual collection?
Yeah. This lady has an answer for everything. Like, even if it's completely ridiculous.
Like, listen, Bertha, that is ridiculous.
So while going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, police see a charge on one of her bank statements for the fee to go to her local dump. This fee she paid for just 4 days after the lunch. So police went to the dump and asked to see the footage. And there on the screen, they watch as Erin pulls a food dehydrator from her car and throws it in the dump. So police also found that she had factory reset her phone 4 times. And she also had another phone that she had factory reset as well.
I didn't know you could see how many times you factory reset it.
And then she also had 2 other phones.
This lady had a drug dealer.
The lady had 4 phones.
She's pimping, boy.
And she has explanations for all of them, but they are all really stupid explanations.
One's just for delivery service of food. The other one, I don't even know.
They also saw that she had used an app to factory reset her phone the last time on August 15th, which is the same day that they were in her home conducting the search. And the phone that she was using was in police custody at this point because they collected it. And so she used an app from another source to factory reset that phone. And at the trial, when she was asked about this, she said, well, I just wanted to see if the police had accessed my phone yet. Like, in a very snarky way. Like, I just wanted to see what the police have done with my phone. So, to see if they turned it on, I decided to factory reset it.
I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of smart. Not what she said, but what she did to factory reset it from a different location, because I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah, so she did that. So remember how Erin said that she hosted the lunch to tell them all that she had been diagnosed with cancer?
Yep.
Well, turns out she never had any appointments related to a biopsy, MRI, blood work, or anything in the months leading up to the lunch. There is nowhere in her medical record that shows that she even was worked up for a cancer diagnosis. So Erin told police that she never told anyone she had cancer. So she denies this. She says, I never told anyone I had cancer. That's a lie. But Ian was about to wake up and tell them that that's exactly what she said. And Simon also confirmed that she had mentioned health problems. And Simon showed police the text exchange from the night before, where he said that he wasn't coming. And police also found 2 separate entries in Gail's diary that said Erin is getting a biopsy and that they were going to lunch to discuss Erin's health. So in the last week of August, all of the toxicology reports came back from the 4 lunch guests. Don and Ian had death cap mushroom toxins in their body. The 2 women did not. But
what?
But this can be explained because at the time of testing, the women could have already metabolized the toxin because people metabolize things differently. So in September, Erin gave a voluntary written statement to police. And in the statement, she said she did not know the mushrooms were poisonous. She insisted that she didn't mean to harm anyone. She said that she had been hospitalized herself with stomach issues after the meal.
Fair point.
She did not get hospitalized. She went to the hospital, sat in the ER, and then walked out AMA 5 minutes after she got there, and then came back and said, I took a nap and I felt better.
See,
so
had she would have stayed, it would have helped her case, even though she probably still went to jail, but it would have been better.
It would have looked less fishy. She also said in her written statement that she admitted to discarding the dehydrator, and it was seen as suspicious, but she did this because she was scared that she'd be a suspect. So in October, while meticulously reviewing Erin's search history, police noticed that she made her way online to an article called Death Cap Mushroom from Melbourne, Thick, Australia. In this article, it says that a user from the site iNaturalist made a death cap mushroom sighting in May of 2023. The user was shocked to see these mushrooms because they're actually very rare in Australia.
Oh.
And they're very seasonal. They only grow at a specific time. So this person on this iNatural website was really, shocked to see them. And when the lady saw them, she went to the area and she used a dog poop bag to pick them all up and tie them in the bag and threw them away because she was trying to protect people.
So no animals could eat them or nothing.
Yeah, she didn't want animals to eat them. She didn't want people to pick them. She was doing her responsible duty as a fellow citizen. She recognized it, so she picked them all and got rid of them. So she said she wanted to make sure she could protect people from them. Well, police see that Erin then Googled iNaturalist.org/observations. And the Google search for death cap mushrooms spotted around Melbourne was also on her computer. So she had Googled this. She read this article. I mean, it's all right there. On May 22nd, 2023, phone records indicated that Erin's phone pinged in the area that this iNaturalist user spotted the deadly mushrooms. So it's all coming together. On November 2nd, 2023, after an extensive 3-month surveillance and investigation, Erin Patterson was arrested and charged with 3 counts of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. When the trial began, April 29th, 2025, this year, it became a media frenzy. The trial took place in the quiet town of Morwell, Victoria. So they didn't have it in her town in Leongatha. Well, originally it was actually supposed to happen in Melbourne, but she insisted that it happen in Morwell.
Why does she have so much power?
I don't know over there why she could choose that, but I guess she insisted that it happened there, so it did.
She'd be asked out in America.
Yeah.
She's I want this over here.
Well, I think because
they'd be like, fuck you, and then they hit you in the head.
I think she wanted to have a fair trial by being in a different town farther away, but it didn't matter. So reporters and spectators took this town over, and Erin Patterson became the talk of Australia and then the world. Erin had been and still does maintain her innocence, claiming this was all a giant mistake, that she would never intentionally kill her ex-husband's family, that she had no idea they were death cap mushrooms, and she just wanted to cook a nice meal for them. The media completely tore her apart. And I have to say that Australian media is hilarious, by the way, because they trolled this lady. I don't know if they did it intentionally or this, I don't know. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I do feel like Australians are a bit cheeky and love to roast. So I love the idea that this was intentional, but I don't know if it actually was. So they posted so many unflattering pictures of her in the media.
You know what I find hilarious?
What?
Where would they find a flattering picture?
I don't know.
It's impossible.
But the pictures they chose, like so many pictures on these articles, she's like mid-cry and her mouth is open. She's like, Like,
I love that.
It's just so bad.
Like Tosh.0 does that whenever he posts a picture of anyone. Like,
yeah.
You know how like you ever get caught talking and like one eye's open, one eye's closed, your mouth's open. Like I love that.
Yeah, I feel like every picture everyone puts up about her is just bad.
They should. Every single person that's like a bad person, do as bad to them as you can.
Yeah. Well, I also went and watched a lot of news coverage about this. And one of the station segments I watched went on about how the day she came to the ER claiming that she had diarrhea for hours, she was wearing white pants. And they were like, there is no way anyone who had diarrhea would leave their house wearing white pants.
No.
And if you can't trust a fart, you can't wear white pants. And so they talked about that in the media over there, how she was wearing these white pants. It became like a whole talk on the internet.
And I do know some people very closely that never trust their farts. I won't say any names.
Oh, whatever. So Erin became...
You just gave it away.
So Erin became the talk of the country. And in the court of public opinion, she was absolutely guilty. The issue here is the prosecution had to prove that she intentionally put those mushrooms in that meal. That it wasn't the accident that she claims. They had to figure out a possible motive and try to convince the jury that this was all intentional. During the trial, prosecution's star witness was Dr. Chris Webster. And he detailed to the jury his odd interactions with Erin, how apprehensive she was to stay at the hospital and to bring her children, and how she wasn't concerned enough about her husband's family to stay by their side, despite having a good relationship with them. Erin testified in her own defense, which I am not surprised about at all.
Yeah, she's one of those people that seem entitled.
Yeah, she thinks she's smarter than everyone.
Yeah, and now, like, she's a know-it-all. Everyone hates a fucking know-it-all.
Yes, for sure she is.
And now that she's wealthy, it probably makes her even feel even holier than thou.
Yeah, definitely. Well, she said that after her guests left that day, that she started eating the orange cake that Heather brought over. And she couldn't stop eating it, and she binge ate it, the entire thing.
I could picture it. I could see it.
And when she was finished, she felt so full and sick, so she forced herself to throw up. And that explains why she wasn't as sick from the mushrooms.
That is fake news.
But she said that day, the reason she wasn't sick is because she threw up. And, you have to remember, this is 2 years later. She's been in jail now for 2 years, and she's had a lot of time to sit there and think of answers. Of course, she's sitting there in her cell thinking, how am I going to answer this question? And so this is, a legitimate possible reason. Okay,
it's not like
you just threw it all up.
It's impossible if no one died.
Yeah.
But because people died, you're lying.
She also said that she really did go foraging for mushrooms and didn't tell anyone because she was afraid she'd be blamed. So instead, that's why she blamed it on an Asian market. The prosecution had Erin read out Facebook messages and posts to her true crime group, where she constantly complained about her husband Simon, calling him a deadbeat, and complained about his parents as well. They wanted to prove that she didn't actually like them or love them the way she claimed to. She badmouthed them to the women in this group all the time. And Erin explained this away as harmless venting, which I did read some of the posts, and they do sound kind of like venting. Nothing sounds too crazy. She's not like
I'm gonna kill this
calling them
motherfucker.
tons of names and stuff. She's just like, you know, it does sound like venting, but it's really not that bad, the stuff she says.
So she sounds like a complainer.
Yeah, she was just complaining about them. The jury heard about the search history, the cancer lies, the lies about the dehydrator and the Asian market, about the tax problem Simon caused her and how angry she was at the birthday party. They saw that she factory reset her phone 4 times, and that it pinged in the area of the death cap mushrooms, where they were spotted. And they observed the CCTV footage in the ER where she leaves, despite them begging for her to stay. No, there was not a clear motive for this crime. But all of this evidence was enough for the jury, and after a 9-week spectacle, the jury deliberated for 6.5 days.
Wow.
Before returning with the verdict of guilty on all charges.
Wow. I can't imagine deliberating for 6 days. Like, either I feel this way about something or I don't. It's kind of like, reminds me of when I was younger and I would finish a test really fast in school.
Mm-hmm.
Either I knew the answer or I didn't. The longer I think about it, the answer isn't going to just come to me. Either I know it or I don't. They're like, oh, think about it more. I'm like, either I know this answer or I just don't.
Yeah, but don't you feel like if you were ever on a jury, you have like someone's life in your hands? Like,
Either they're guilty or not.
I don't know.
I listened.
I can't think like
first
that.
Of all, I listened to this whole thing for a month. Now, either I think she's guilty after all this or I don't. But sitting here talking to you guys eating half slices of pizza isn't going to do it for me. Like, it's over, folks. I'm going home.
Well, they convicted her on all charges. She's guilty on all charges. Dr. Chris Webster has now spoken out to the media because he doesn't mince words. He hates this lady, and he makes it known. But he has gotten complaints about how he speaks about her.
Who cares?
And people reported him to the medical board, which I think is a little crazy.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with how he treats people, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, I want to hear what our Aussie listeners think about it. Well, I'm going to play a clip of Dr. Webster and what he's talking about now that the trial's over and he's really speaking out about everything.
A Leongatha doctor who blew the whistle on Erin Patterson's murderous mushroom plot is in danger of losing his medical licence after speaking out about the convicted killer. Dr. Chris Webster says he's being investigated by the medical board after voicing his disgust about the infamous Beef Wellington cook.
He was a key medical witness whose testimony contributed to Erin Patterson's conviction.
She's evil. She had a problem, she had a dilemma, and the solution that she chose is sociopathic.
Patterson was Dr. Webster's patient for the 5 minutes she spent in Leongatha Hospital on the morning after the lethal lunch. He then saw her on TV.
I just can't fathom what has happened.
I was laughing at the absurdity of how fake her emotion appeared.
Just days before her interview, Patterson was caught on CCTV disposing of the food dehydrator she used to prepare the meal. But Dr. Chris Webster is now paying the price for his frank assessment of the triple murderer. His candid post-trial commentary sparked a series of complaints, which have left him fighting to keep his medical licence, and following legal advice, he's been gagged from speaking publicly again. 10 News has obtained emails taking issue at his descriptions of Patterson as a crazy bitch and disturbed nutbag. It undermines the dignity of Ms. Patterson, they said. It was unprofessional, unhinged and misogynistic. One email demands a thorough investigation. Another says he should be on trial for breach of trust. The backlash spilled over onto social media, where Dr. Webster hit back. Your concern for the privacy of a convicted mass murderer is matched by my concern for the society in which I live, he replied. My actions helped put a triple murderer behind bars, and you want to go after my professional standards? I wish you luck. The medical board is remaining tight-lipped about any potential investigation into Dr. Webster's comments, stating only it's aware of his media interviews and reports that complaints were made. Currently, Dr. Webster doesn't have any restrictions on his medical registration, but he says for the time being, he'll be laying low. Before returning to his Leongatha clinic next week. Abby Dinham, 10 News.
The only thing that I found weird about him that would make me question him is his mullet.
Yeah.
Like,
his hair.
I've never met a doctor with a mullet.
It's like a mini mullet.
Yeah, it's like
a very little tiny mullet. It's like just in the back.
It's like a professional mullet. Like if I like when he retires, that shit's gonna be the best.
Yeah, he's got a mini mullet.
I did not see a mullet coming.
I didn't either, to be honest, when I first saw it.
And being the foremost professional profiler in my profession, you know, normally I would see that coming a mile away, but I did not.
I didn't either.
So I have to sharpen my tools.
The date for Erin's sentencing hearing has not been set, but she is facing life in prison, and she will probably get it.
When did all this happen?
Well, the lunch happened in 2023, and the trial just ended like a couple weeks ago.
Holy shit, this is new as hell. So this dude's hair is still like that. I thought it might have been like an older case, and I'm like, all right, he probably got it cut by then, but crikey.
So why was everyone, including me, obsessed with Erin the Lump Patterson?
They called her the Lump?
Me, I named her the Lump.
Oh, I had a friend.
That would be her mafia name.
Yeah, she does look a little lumpy. They aren't lovely lady lumps.
No. Because honestly, she was just so normal. Like painfully, almost comically boring. That's what made it so eerie. She wasn't some wild femme fatale or a dramatic criminal mastermind. She was a middle-aged mom in a cardigan. The Australian media couldn't get enough of her because she was the kind of woman you'd pass in the grocery store and never look twice at. But once police started looking into her, suddenly that beige exterior looked a lot more suspicious. The contrast between her bland persona and the horror of what happened made her irresistibly creepy, and the media knew it. Erin Patterson now sits among a long, grim lineage of female poisoners. Women whose crimes don't scream, but they whisper. Poison has always been the so-called women's weapon. Not because of some innate cruelty, but because history pushed women to find power in quiet domestic spaces. And when murder slips into the kitchen, it terrifies us in a different way. Erin, with her bland smile and fake obnoxious crying, became a lightning rod for not just suspicion, but for obsession. The media frenzy wasn't just about the deaths. It was about the disconnect. How could someone so seemingly ordinary be capable of something so monstrous? We've seen in this case, and many other cases, that evil comes in many forms. Sometimes it could wear a knit sweater, make you beef Wellington, and sit across from you at the dinner table and smile as you eat it.
With a lump in her elbow.
What?
She said she had a lump in her elbow.
Oh, and that is the case of the mushroom murders in Erin Patterson. It's wild. I found this case so fascinating for so many reasons. A, because she was so boring and normal and like not what anyone expected. B, because she chose death cap mushrooms, which is so rare. C, because she was a true crime fanatic. And D, because she has an answer for everything and she's so arrogant and thinks she's smarter than everyone.
Or E, all the above.
Yeah, like all of those reasons made me fascinated with this case. like, listening to her excuses for everything just kind of made me laugh. Like, is this lady for real?
I hate people like her.
I know.
I could think of a few that I know. I won't say anyone's name.
Well, that's good.
I hate normally I call everyone out, but I'm not going to do it today because I'm mature today.
That's good.
This made me think of like a week or two ago, like we're growing tons of mushrooms in our yard.
We are. Yeah, there's a lot of mushrooms in our yard.
We could wake up tomorrow and have like 20 mushrooms in our yard. They grow overnight.
Yeah, they grow fast, and I pick them all the time because Tyson will eat them.
And they look just like, while you were telling the story, I looked up those mushrooms, what they call the death caps.
Yeah.
And to me, they all look the same. And Tyson ate a mushroom the other day. So we're over here on this Facebook group where everyone posts mushrooms and try to like see what they are.
Yeah.
Tyson is still alive.
He is.
This guy will literally eat anything you drop. I mean, he came from a shelter, so he's food insecure, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, you could drop a quarter.
He's gonna run after.
He's gonna try. It's going in his mouth, and he's trying to swallow it. Whatever you drop.
Yeah.
You could drop. I don't know. Think of the weirdest thing you could drop.
Yeah. He ate a mushroom the other day, and I was like, oh my God, this is bad.
Yeah. Then I was like, come on, man. I ain't trying to spend thousands at the doctor, and he's still here.
Yeah, he's still here. He survived.
And I still got my thousands in the bank account. It's not that many thousands, but. It's like, what the hell, bro? That money was for like a vacation or something.
Yeah, but he's good. Did you find this case interesting?
Yeah, like she was trying to talk about like, all these situational circumstances of why she shouldn't be guilty. But the brown plate to me, was a big one.
Yeah.
So she could distinguish which plate is which.
Mm-hmm.
Also, something that's interesting to me is like she blamed Asian people.
Yes, that's something that I was like really like, damn, bro.
But I understand why. I know in New York for sure, and recently, like we took a bike ride in Maryland, Asian people do pick mushrooms. Wild mushrooms just in regular grass areas. Like in the Bronx where I live, they pick them on the side of a cemetery.
Yeah, they do.
Them shits is have dead people in them.
But also when you go to an Asian market, like H Mart, we have an H Mart close by. When you go to H Mart, there's like a whole mushroom section. Like mushrooms are big in Asian cooking.
Yeah, but I'm just stating that.
But it's pretty crazy that she blamed the Asian market.
Which is crazy, which ones in the wild are good, but
yeah.
It's like an old school skill.
Yeah, it's cool. It is an old school
I wish I did, but I don't trust that because all the mushrooms look very similar.
It's true. They all do look really similar. And that's one thing about death cap mushrooms is that they are easily mistaken for edible mushrooms because they look so similar to edible ones.
I always think, like, I bet the Asian people are like, look at these stupid white people. They don't even know there's free food all over the place.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so this case was super fascinating, and I needed to scour the internet to bring it all into one place. But for all my Australian peeps, I hope I did the case justice for you guys. And let me know what you think about Dr. Chris Webster, because I'm curious what you guys think, because you're over there. It's in your country. Me personally, I like him.
He's a good bloke.
I like him, but I want to see what you guys think.
I would sit down and have a Foster's with him and have a
Foster's. They don't drink Foster's over
They
there.
hate Foster's.
I remember Foster's.
This one bartender I was working with, her boyfriend would always come, and he was Australian. I would be like, want a Foster's? And he'd be like, no, we don't really drink that.
Yeah, they don't. They don't even like it.
But because it bothers you, I'm going to offer you a Foster's every single time you come in, and after every beer you have, I'm like, you ready for your Foster's?
I bet you annoyed the shit out of him with that. All right, everyone, head over to patreon.com/wifeofcrimepod and Facebook at Wife of Crime the Crime Family and Instagram at Wife of Crime Pod and wifeofcrime.com for all the merch.
And be a good bloke or a Sheila and have yourself some shrimp on the barbie with a Foster's. Good day, mate.
All right, everyone.